most of them. I'm going to start with this. Before we talk about your latest projects, I got to ask you for your thoughts on what is the end of the Arrowverse, or for me, why does it have to end?
Well, that's a great question. Well, I think, I'll take the second part first. It doesn't have to end, but it clearly is obviously ending. And I think it ran into sort of a perfect storm. On the one hand, you've got Discovery buying Warner Brothers and vastly downsizing everything. Legends and Batwoman were not canceled by the CW. It was Warner Brothers' decision not to move forward with those shows. And at the same time, what would be bad enough, right? One corporate merger. But in addition, obviously, you have Nexstar buying the CW and changing the way they're going about programming their slate. So, like I said, I think one of those was survivable. Two of those, much less so. So it is a shame. For me, and this sort of gets to the first part of your question, for me, look, all good things come to an end and everything sort of ends. I'm personally, just as a writer and a creator, I'm disappointed that it's not going out in sort of high style. It would be nice to go out with like a mini series or some story that resolved any dangling plot threads and sort of just go out on a high note. And to a certain extent, television doesn't really work like that. You don't have like a actual series to end an entire group of shows. But it's so because as shows unique. So it's a shame. It's a bummer. But that is such is life.
And Jessica?
So kind of piggybacking off of that, the theme with Arrow, and I was amazed by just how long it went. Were you surprised by that? Because I was happy to see it be that successful. And typically with superhero TV series, it doesn't normally go for that long. And you created that kind of a core part of the DC verse in that show. Can you talk? Were you surprised by the success of it?
Beyond surprised. Beyond surprised. I mean, the truth is, we never really anticipated basically first to the way it ended up doing. We never, we just thought like all we can do. Greg and I were coming off of the twin disappointments of the Green Lantern movie and Eli Stone, and all really we were hoping is to get a show on the air that would allow us to stay on the air. And we thought, in a perfect world, our wildest imaginings, it would run 5 years. That's why Oliver was on the island for 5 years. The idea that it would run 8, it never entered our minds. We never thought it was possible because you're right. Not too many shows run that long, and not too many superhero shows in particular run that long. So, if you had asked us, I think, if you have a time machine, go back in time and ask me and Greg to bet money on a variety of different things related to Arrow, and you could make some good money that way. Because we were wrong about everything.
Well, I know Stephen Amell keeps that fandom alive. Like, he's ready to come back online all the time. And there are thousands of fans online that are like all about Oliver, and they're not going to let him go. They want it back. So that's pretty amazing.
And truth be told, like, I think we would all be very interested in returning to the Arrowverse or returning to Arrow in some way, shape, or form. I think I personally would like to wait a little bit longer. We haven't been off the air that long. I also, I would love for us to, whatever work and have a bigger budget to be able to, sort of really, blow the off the see what happens. It's like there's new hands. James Gunn is doing things with the DC verse. I think it's it's all kind of up for grabs at the moment. But it's terrific that, Steven's, reprising his role and David's reprising his role on Flash. That's wonderful. And absolutely right. God bless Steven for, he does keep the fans engaged. He's always been amazing at that. I think Steven was, Arrow came on just as Twitter was becoming a thing, and Steven really, I consider Steven a pioneer in the modern way of actors engaging with fans.